In October 2025, Microsoft sent a clear message to hundreds of millions of people: upgrade to Windows 11 or lose your security updates forever. So millions of Americans did what Microsoft asked. They upgraded. They trusted the company that had powered their computers for decades. And then Windows 11 fell apart. Not a little, not a minor bug here and there. We're talking 20 confirmed major failures in a single year: broken audio, dead webcams, BSODs, crashes, and an AI assistant nobody asked for shoved into every corner of their screen. This is the story of how Microsoft broke Windows, and why, right now, in 2026, people are actually rolling back to an operating system that Microsoft killed. Let's go back to where this started. Windows 10 launched in 2015. For 10 years, it was the most stable, reliable version of Windows Microsoft ever shipped. Businesses built their entire workflows on it. Gamers optimized their rigs for it. It just worked. Then, Microsoft announced the clock was ticking. October 14th, 2025 support ends. No more security patches, no more bug fixes, no more protection from the kind of malware that targets unpatched systems. Microsoft's pitch for Windows 11 was simple. It's more modern, more secure, it has this great new start menu, and oh yeah, it has Copilot, Microsoft's AI assistant. Here's what they didn't tell you. If your PC was more than a few years old, there was a decent chance it couldn't even run Windows 11 officially, because of a hardware requirement called TPM2. Millions of perfectly functional computers, machines that ran Windows 10 beautifully, were suddenly declared incompatible. So you had three choices: upgrade your PC, buy a new one, or stay on an unsupported operating system and hope for the best. And the millions who did upgrade? They walked straight into a disaster that Microsoft was still building. Here's what 2025 actually looked like for Windows 11 users, and I want you to feel the weight of this list, because it's not a few isolated incidents. This was systematic failure, month after month. January 2025, the very first security update of the year broke audio for anyone using an external USB audio device. Producers, podcasters, musicians suddenly silent. Microsoft's fix? Avoid using your external DAC for now. That's their advice. Unplug the thing you paid for. Same update, it killed webcams. Cameras that worked perfectly on Monday, completely undetected after Tuesday's update. Error code 0xA00F4244. We can't find your camera, it's right there. A few weeks later, BitLocker settings stopped working. BitLocker, by the way, is the encryption tool that's supposed to keep your files secure. The security update broke the security feature. March brought FPS drops for gamers. Microsoft pushed an update that introduced stuttering and frame drops across multiple games. For the gaming community, a community Microsoft has been desperately trying to win over, this was particularly brutal. April, display and taskbar glitches. May, Wi-Fi disconnections. June, File Explorer random freezes. By summer, tech sites that had been covering Windows for decades were writing articles with titles like "Windows 11 is having its worst year ever." And then came the AI problem. While all of this was breaking, Microsoft wasn't focused on fixing the foundation. They were busy cramming Copilot, their AI chatbot, into Notepad, into the taskbar, into the start menu, into places that made zero sense. Users didn't ask for AI in Notepad. They asked for an operating system that didn't break their webcam. The Windows Central review at the end of 2025 said it plainly: Windows 11's reputation might be at its lowest it has ever been, not since Windows 8. The operating system that was so bad, Microsoft had to essentially apologize and release Windows 10 to fix it. Now here's where the story gets genuinely strange. After Microsoft killed Windows 10 and pushed millions of users onto Windows 11, those users started leaving Windows 11. StatCounter tracks desktop operating system market share across billions of web sessions. In June 2025, Windows 11 finally overtook Windows 10 inches market share. It had taken years. Microsoft had thrown everything at it. Pop-up notifications, forced upgrade prompts, the looming security deadline. And then, the moment Windows 10 support ended in October, something unexpected happened. Windows 11's market share started dropping. October, 55%, November, 53.7%, December, 50.7%. In 2 months, Windows 11 lost more than 5 percentage points, and Windows 10, the operating system Microsoft had declared dead, gained it back. People were rolling back, or refusing to upgrade in the first place. As of early 2026, roughly 36% of Windows devices worldwide are still running Windows 10. And here's the stat that tells you everything. Windows 7, an operating system Microsoft stopped supporting in 2020, actually gained market share during this period. People would rather run a 6-year dead operating system than deal with Windows 11. When users choose a system that doesn't even get security updates over your current supported product, that's not a PR problem, that's a trust problem. And trust takes years to rebuild. To Microsoft's credit, and I want to be fair here, the company eventually acknowledged what was happening. In late 2025, Windows chief Pavan Davuluri publicly acknowledged the, quote, pain points that users had been raising for years. Microsoft confirmed it was hitting the brakes on aggressive feature expansion to focus on making Windows actually work properly. They introduced something called the Performance Fundamentals approach for 2026, a focus on background workload management, better scheduling, graphics optimizations, and fixing the performance drops that had been plaguing gamers. They also pulled back on some of the more aggressive Copilot integrations. The AI that had been inserted everywhere was quietly being dialed back. The Windows community has a name for what they're hoping Microsoft will do: the Windows 8.1 moment. When Windows 8 was a disaster, and it was a disaster, with its confusing touch interface on desktop computers, Microsoft didn't double down. They listened, shipped Windows 8.1, brought back the start button, and eventually gave us Windows 10. Windows 11 needs that same reset. Not a new operating system, not a rebrand, just stop breaking things. Stop prioritizing AI features over stability. Give people back control over their own computers. But there's a catch. Even after Microsoft's public acknowledgement, the January 2026 update shipped with new problems. Black screens, frozen Outlook accounts. Emergency patches had to go out twice within days of each other. So Microsoft is saying the right things. Whether they can actually execute is a different question. So if you're sitting there right now wondering what to actually do, here's the practical breakdown. If you're already on Windows 11 and it's working fine for you genuinely, nothing to panic about. The bugs we talked about affected many people, but not everyone. Keep your system updated, make sure you have good backups, and pay attention to Windows Update news before installing major patches. If you're on Windows 10 and still holding out, your extended security updates coverage runs until October 2026 for enrolled devices. That buys you time, but you will need a plan after that. If your PC meets the Windows 11 requirements, the upgrade is still free. If it doesn't meet requirements, look into tools like Rufus for unofficial installs. Just know that Microsoft doesn't support that path. If you're seriously fed up and technically adventurous, this is the moment where Linux finally makes sense for a lot of people. Distributions like Linux Mint are specifically designed to feel familiar to Windows users. They're free, they're stable, and nobody is shoving an AI chatbot into your text editor. And if you're a gamer specifically, the good news is that 2026 is supposed to be the year Microsoft gets serious about gaming performance on Windows. The Xbox full screen experience is coming to all Windows devices. If Microsoft follows through, this could genuinely improve things. If they don't, SteamOS on a Steam Deck starts looking like the better platform. The bottom line, Microsoft has a real opportunity in 2026 to win back the trust they burned in 2025. But based on the January 2026 updates already causing problems, the jury is very much still out. Microsoft built Windows into the most used software platform in human history. Almost every American who has owned a computer in the last 30 years has used Windows. That legacy is exactly why 2025 hurt so much. This wasn't some startup burning user trust. This was the company that millions of people had trusted with their work, their memories, their businesses, and it fumbled in a way that's going to take real effort to undo. The question going into the rest of 2026 is simple. Will Microsoft actually fix it, or will they keep chasing AI headlines while the foundation cracks? Drop your experience in the comments. Are you still on Windows 10? Did Windows 11 break something on your machine? I want to hear what's actually happening out there. If this video was useful, subscribe. We cover exactly this kind of tech story every week, and I'll see you in the next one.